What's going on, guys? T-Mart here, and today I've got a pretty cool video for you guys involving Advanced Warfare. So we're going to be talking about the audio portion of the game, and this video's a little bit different because it's not necessarily about like in-game info and stuff that I typically cover, but it's a little bit more technical, in-depth look at how they actually made the game. So you guys saw yesterday's video, the studio tour of Sledgehammer Games. That was pretty cool, but in this video, I'm going to focus on the stuff that I learned when I sat down with a few of the audio engineers and everything they kind of told me about how they've improved this game in the audio space. And it's really pretty impressive. I mean, like, for example, the boost jump in Advanced Warfare originally stems from the sounds of a nail gun and a blowtorch. Like, how cool is that? So we're going to be hanging out with Dave Swenson right here, and he's going to tell us about how he, you know, kind of made the boost jump sound, and then he's actually going to let me make my own boost jump sound, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, let's check this part out, and then we'll come back after this and we'll talk about everything else I learned about the audio in this game. So here we go.
One of those extra abilities that when I'm playing, I think it's one of the most fun is the boost jumping.
The boost,
right?
yeah.
It's just awesome, right? And it really changes the game. I mean, and how you play the game. So as I was thinking about like what to do with the boost jump, I was really like, you know, struggling with it and and trying lots of different things and I mean, it's kind of like this jetpack thing, but it's not really a jetpack. It's just sort of like pushing you, in different directions and stuff. Anyway, so I was actually working on my house, and I haven't. I brought it with me today. I have a nail gun and this air compressor, and I was like, working on my house, but doing stuff, and I was like shooting this nail gun. I'm like, this sounds really cool. I mean, when you shoot a nail gun, I brought my small one. I have an even bigger one at home that just is like boom when you shoot it. It's like this crazy huge like push of air, right? And I was like, that sounds really cool. I wonder if I could use that for the boost jump, right? So I brought this all in, I have like a chunk of wood and my air compressor and like all this stuff, and I have I just
you see the
fire
air on the ground here? It's like literally.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so plug it in and plug it into my rig, and then I just started messing with it, right? I started like playing with it and see what sounds, and I ended up making some pretty neat sounds with it, just like shooting it and popping the air out of the gun and stuff, and then I would start to mess around with it. It's like I can show you really quick what sort of what this ended up looking like, and then we can do one really quick if you want. It's pretty.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
It's pretty awesome. And so in this case, I started with if I'm to solo up some of this gun stuff, I started with just shooting the nail gun. So you just get some basic nail gun shots, right?
Right.
And I would do stuff like I would pull the I would pop the air hose off the gun, right? And so I get sort of this like pressure release from the gun, right? And then I would take plugins and start messing with that, making those sound more interesting, making those. Now I have this like realistic sound, and now I'm going to make it sound more advanced, right?
Advanced, yeah.
And so I'd do that with some plugins, and so I'd fire up some, like this is an example of one of the plugins that it's called it's a grain plugin or a granulizer. So it takes that sound, and you heard the air pop off, and now this is what it sounds like with that plugin instantiated. So we take that air thing, and now you're hearing it sounding a little bit tweaked and a little bit more advanced, right? A little more featurey, right? And do the same thing with all these different air shots, right? And then as I start layering these sounds, and I add what I didn't record here, I recorded out in the field like I wanted it. It's a sort of an explosive element, and so we went out and recorded some fireworks, right? And so we have the sound of a firework sound, and I would start layering these things, like there's another layer in there, it's like a blowtorch.
Wow. That's...
Right? So you start layering all these elements together of all these different recordings we make, and then what you end up with, right, is the full sound. Right?
That's incredible.
And so you get this really cool explosive, pushing the guys off the ground, and they're jumping around, and it's all built from these
real
basic elements we record, right? So if you're interested, we can fire up the mic and make one really quick. We'll make your boost jump. So when you push it in, just what you'll see, there's like a safety on it, so it won't shoot unless it's pressed into the wood, right? So press it down and pull the trigger.
Okay.
And before you do that, let me get rolling here. Okay. All right, go for it.
Oh, do you want me to
No,
lift up right away?
No,
okay.
Good. We'll do one more.
Perfect.
And yeah, this time lift up right away. See if it. Again, the cool thing about games is we have to do this like tons of times. Go ahead. Good, perfect.
Sweet.
So yeah, with games, because you're boost jumping lots of times in the game, right? We
want it to be the
record.
same sound.
We don't want it to be the same sound every time,
Right.
so I'll record like 20 of these, right? And we'll build like lots of variations. So each time you boost, it's a different sound in the game. All right. So the next part we need to do is popping the air hose off.
Okay.
Right. So all you need to do, I'll just hold. All you need to do is grab this piece. I'll do one for you. And you just like pull this back, this piece right here, and it'll pop off for you, right?
That's cool.
So go ahead. Cool. Let's get one more. All right. Let's see what we got.
Sweet.
And then we'll take your sound and we'll start bringing it in. And so we first start with the nail gun. I'm gonna bump the level up on that a little bit.
Okay.
I like this really punchy thing. I'm gonna get this. And we'll take your two air compression sounds, right? So we'll get those lined up so they happen in the right time. Let me line this dude up a little bit more. All right. So now if we have all the plugins, everything going, your boost jump sound. Let's see what this ended up looking sound like.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's pretty good. It's really punchy.
Yeah, it is.
There's a lot of low end in those things I like. So there you go.
Awesome.
That's how you make a boost jump.
Thank
man.
you so much.
It's
That
just like
was awesome.
Yeah.
Man, so that was pretty cool. I made my own boost jump in Advanced Warfare. That was definitely a very, very cool experience, and it's really kind of cool to see just how like this stuff is made. Like, you know, they said that they wanted to go for advanced sounds, not futuristic sounds, because they wanted this game to be realistic future. They didn't want it to be, you know, kind of like sci-fi or things like that. So they said that they always used real life sounds as a base, and then they would mix it and overlay it and add synthetic plugins to give it a bit of a twist, a bit of an advanced twist, I guess you could say. But everything is always based off of like a real sound, so that it keeps it believable. Like, for example, the drone sound actually comes from this like wooden instrument thing called a wind wand. Check this out.
This is called a wind wand, and
Wow, that sounds like drones.
it sounds very drone-ish, but it's not a synthesizer, right?
Right. Boom! That sounded like drones. And then another example is Dave Swinson told me that the big walking spider tank that we've seen in the trailer a couple of times, like the big tank with legs, that thing, the sound of it walking actually stems from the arm of a garbage truck. He said he was laying in bed one morning and he always keeps his audio recorder next to him on his bedside table, and the garbage truck came by, and in California they have these crazy garbage trucks that have like these mechanical claws that grab your can, and like the garbage men don't get out of the truck. It's kind of cool. But yeah, he heard that and he was like, oh my gosh, that's it. That's what we need. So he ran outside, recorded it, asked the garbage man to follow him around for like a half hour that morning, and he just followed him around recording the sounds of that arm, which I think is pretty cool. Like, it's just cool to see like how dedicated and how passionate these guys are about this game. And that's what really gives me, you know, confidence that that not only have they made a great game, but they're going to keep making it great and improving on it throughout the year, which is pretty exciting. So yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, everything is based off of real life sound. And the thing is in previous years of Call of Duty, they would use what's called libraries. So libraries are like these big, you know, kind of groups of thousands and thousands of sounds that companies will buy to put in like their movies or their games or their, you know, TV shows or, you know, whatever it is, any type of media. But those are all the same sounds. Like a lot of them are reused. It's kind of the same thing over and over. And Sledgehammer wanted a fresh take, so they went out and they recorded thousands of their own sounds that, I mean, technically have never been heard before. Like, it's all exclusive to them. So like they would go and record a flyby of an AC-130, which, like, this, look how intense this is. This is awesome. And then they would record a flyby of a helicopter. They would get on top of a tank and record it shooting. They would get inside of a tank and record it shooting. They would record footsteps on the tank, inside the tank, outside of the tank, like all kinds of stuff. So it's really cool. You know, they had 3 years this year with the new 3-year development cycle. So they really had a lot of time to go in and try to perfect all this stuff. And they said that one of the biggest things they focused on, one of their main, you know, kind of primary objectives, was to improve the gun sounds. Because I mean, when you think about it, in a first-person shooter, what's literally always in front of you and always making noise? your weapon. So if you're trying to make a realistic game that really engrosses people in it and really puts them in the action, gun sounds make a very, very, big part of that. And that's why they focused on him this year. And he actually showed me something pretty cool. Travis, the multiplayer, head audio guy, he went to a private match and it was just him in there, so there's nothing else really making any noise. And then he pulled up this dev console that shows you, different things in the game, and he set it to the audio portion where you can see all the different layers of sound playing at any exact moment. And then he showed me that every time he shot, there were like 7 to 8 different sounds going off at the same time just for that one shot. Like, how insane is that? He said they had a bunch of different recordings of like the same weapons and same caliber of weapons and stuff that they kind of interchange so it doesn't sound loopy. The sound is always constantly a little bit varied. And then on top of that, they have different sounds depending on where you are in the environment. Like, are you outside in an open area where you aren't really gonna have like a kind of a reverberation or like an echo type deal going on? Or are you inside? Like right here, if we shot inside, it would sound totally different because the sound would be bouncing off the walls and things like that. It'd sound a bit more echoey. Or are you shooting into dirt? Are you shooting into concrete? Are you, shooting into water? Things like that. They literally, like, it's so much, there's so much variation in the sounds of the weapon depending on where you are, which is kind of cool. You never really hear the same thing twice. So yeah, I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool. And then also, they said that one thing they were trying to do is capture the, like, reverberation and like the kickback of the gun inside you. They said that you can put a microphone next to the weapon all day long, but you're never really going to capture the feeling that you get when you shoot a weapon, when it kicks back into you and it kind of like reverberates through your body, that whole thing. And they tried to capture that and recreate that in the game, and I think they did a pretty good job. Like, just when you listen to the weapons in this game, you can hear that they're just a little bit more like punchier, like they've got some bass behind them. Here, let's take a look right here. Yeah, so you guys can hear what I'm talking about. Like, they just have that, like, oomph behind them. That's what I'm talking about. They try to kind of, capture that, internal reverberation feeling that you get when you actually shoot a real weapon in real life. So, yeah, there you guys have it. That's just some of the audio improvements that they've made to Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. I thought this was really cool, and it's honestly something that I think a lot of us take for granted. Like, I feel like we don't ever really think about everything that's going into the sounds that are going on in the game, but that's kind of the point. These guys are so good at their jobs that they put all of this together, all these different sounds that wouldn't really make sense by themselves, and they can make them create something that really kind of engrosses us in the game and kind of adds to the realism. So yeah, there you guys have it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I got a bunch of great Advanced Warfare videos coming soon, so make sure you guys keep checking back. Check out these other 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them yet. And thank you guys so much for watching. Catch you all later. Peace out.